Just Incredible Exposed Part 2. Now, he covered a ton of stuff in Part 1, and I don't even know where he's going to be going with Part 2. Part 2 could be just all testimonials, which would be hilarious. So let's get into it.
What's up, y'all? This is the one and only chocolate juggler Willie Mack, and you are
Willie
watching
Mack.
Pinfalls and Picks.
W get, brother.
Oh, hell yeah, do it up. Best of the both worlds put together in one place. Yeah, you know you gotta check it out. Go on ahead and peep it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. W get, brother. W get. Oh, we're getting more into the history of Just Incredible, I guess. Death in Japan? Is he dead? I thought he had an appearance coming up.
First off, I want to start by saying thank you for the support on my last video, and every other video for that matter. It really means a lot and I truly do appreciate it. Before we dive into this video, I want to make one thing very clear. I'm not a judgmental person. People make mistakes.
Yeah.
I make mistakes, and even wrestlers make mistakes. I've also never been the type to let something outside of the ring define how I view someone as a performer. We all deserve second chances.
No, I agree. Now, there's some things that you can't really ignore, right? A handful of things you can't ignore. But for the most part, I think there's things that happen in people's personal lives that we can get past and just enjoy their in-ring ability and what's going on with them in the company, right? Because they're still people. They still make mistakes. They're not going to be perfect. And there's a lot of things we can kind of just say, hey, you did it. Let's move on. But there's some things we can't do that with, right? Like, obviously, murder. We cannot just let them come back. That's not okay. Especially anybody with the Vince lawsuit, right? Anybody that was a named participant in this lawsuit cannot come back. That's not something we can forgive them for. That's something outside of the ring that we cannot let happen again and cannot let these people continue, right? But there are a lot of things that we as fans can kind of say, you know, my cousin did the same thing or whatever. But
this is important. Over and over again, good people make bad choices.
Right.
But they learn from them.
Right.
Many go
Shelby
on to
County.
make the wrestling business better. Well, maybe except for Jeff Hardy. Because destroying an entire pay-per-view is kind of unforgivable. Fans paid good money for those seats. They paid.
Yeah, I do feel bad about that one.
This
one is one that is one that I'm not really talking about earlier. Like that's bad. That's not really good, and that happened in ring in front of people. And so like that's bringing personal struggles to millions of people, and that's not good. It's not good at all. I do love Jeff Hardy though, and I hope that he can stay clean this time, clean and sober. I hope he's got it together, because I love Jeff Hardy, and I would hate to watch him fall again.
Which brings me back to Just Incredible. Blocking people and silencing victims doesn't really sound like somebody who wants forgiveness. Scamming fans is already one of the lowest things that you can do. Or at least
said I was scammed out of $200. I asked if he would do my podcast before he was actually offering it as a service. He said if I bought a cameo and some merchandise, he would do the podcast for free. None of which ever happened, and after many messages and some actual calls with both he and his wife to arrange, finally called him out on Twitter and he blocked me. So I messaged on Instagram and he said his dad had just died and my call out was inappropriate. He would then message back with a vague answers and promises like, what would you like me to do? And then never following up.
At least that's what I thought. After my last video,
I was Mr. Palacos. I guess is his name, Just Incredible's name. Palaco. Asian from 2008 2010. Your video was excellent, but it didn't even scratch the surface. My autobiography, Wrestling with Justice, came out last year, and it told of my life in pro wrestling and law enforcement. I told every story I experienced with PJ and his wife. They've been conning people since the mid 2000s, and his wife has been dying of cancer, in quotations, for over a decade now. That was his standard excuse when he would no show. His wife had a bad case of cancer. She's had 6 months to live since 2010. If you ever do an updated version of the video, you can use passages from my book. I am grateful fans are finally starting to wake up and see what a con man he is. Although some people will never leave his side.
I received an email from somebody who claimed to have managed Just Incredible. Not only
What
did
if
they
it was Just
manage
Incredible?
but they wrote an entire book about their time doing so. The book is called Wrestling with Justice by Nathan Ward. Take this information however you want, but keep in mind, this is a published book.
Oh,
I'll leave a link in the description of the book. And I'll
not like Just
link to
Incredible's
trial
one that never
video.
came out. I still wholeheartedly believe that Just Incredible never actually wrote a book, and a bunch of people got scammed believing that he did write a book. 100%.
Today we're going to dive into the Just Incredible parts of the book. The scams, the drugs, and even the death involved in this story. The first mention of Just Incredible in Wrestling with Justice appears in 2008, when Nathan organized a wrestling event featuring multiple wrestlers. He starts detailing this on page 25 in a chapter bluntly titled The Druggies.
The druggies.
Nathan describes Just Incredible and his wife as some of the most notorious con artists and drug addicts that he has ever encountered.
Wow.
He mentions Justin's 2 terminations from WWE.
Yeah, this stable was actually pretty good. I really like the stable. That's honestly the only real memory I have of Just Incredible was a stable with X-Pac and Albert.
Which we all knew about, but I don't think any of us knew the full reasons why. According to Nathan, Justin's first firing was due to repeatedly lying to Stephanie McMahon.
Probably,
Claiming
yeah.
he would be en route to a chartered flight but never actually leaving his hotel. The second termination was also a pattern of no-shows. So
Why would you hire him back? Like, why would you hire him back if you know he's just like going to lie? Like he's not going to do what he needs to do. I don't know. WWE in the early 2000s made a lot of questionable decisions. Let's just put it that way.
Justin doesn't just have a history of no-showing local promotions,
Multiple
but
bookings
also
and kept
with
advance
WWE.
payment. Yep.
Nathan, who lived just one town over from Justin, would then propose a 50-50 split for an appearance at a convention in New Jersey. But Justin would counter with an offer that Nathan couldn't refuse.
Give him $150
$150 up front in exchange for a commitment to all bookings for the rest of the year.
That's insane.
And I mean, you know what they say. If it seems too good to be true, 9 times out of 10 it is. Nathan met up with Justin at a wrestling dojo to deliver the money. From there, they got into Justin's beat-up Buick, where Nathan met Justin's wife. He would refer to Justin's wife as Amber in the book, though anyone scammed by Justin on PayPal knows her real name is Jill.
Yeah.
Nathan then says that within moments, the money was used for drugs. Not long after, Justin then asked Nathan.
He said, wait here, I gotta buy my fix. He said, thanks for the money, bro. I'm about to go shoot up.
For another $160. This time, being upfront and saying it was for pills. He promised to repay him with a paycheck from the restaurant where he worked. Now, I have seen comments on X and YouTube that Justin definitely does or did work at a restaurant, which adds a little credibility to Nathan's claims.
It is kind of sad to see such a hard fall from the top. Just Incredible was the top of ECW at one point, right? ECW fails. Just Incredible goes to the WWE. The WWE has a spot for him. right? He's just got to show up and do his job. The WWE has him in a faction with people who I don't know if Albert will go to the Hall of Fame. I think he should because he's been with NXT almost since the inception as a trainer and killed it down there. I've never heard a bad thing about him as a trainer. And, you know, X-Pac is a Hall of Famer with DX. There was potential there for something incredible, and he could not do it. And it is incredibly sad. Like, addiction is one of the saddest things to watch, and we're watching it not in real time, but like we're watching events unfold that tell us why somebody who had it all is now working in a kitchen, in a beat up Buick, and addicted to drugs. We don't know what drugs, but drugs, obviously.
Nathan would go on to lend Justin over $500 and even put him on a cell phone plan, since Just
Wow,
Incredible
that
didn't
was
even have a phone.
extremely generous.
The result was a $700 phone bill in the first month.
Jeez.
Justin also would then write Nathan 2 checks totaling $460, both of which bounced. Because
Yeah,
of
that
course
sounds about right.
Nathan would then attempt to have Justin work off his debt through autograph signings and a shoot interview. The interview, according to Nathan, was subpar. But
Yeah,
it did
I mean,
include
yeah.
something very shocking and disturbing. Nathan claims that during the interview, Justin talked about a time he was in Japan with wrestler Jerry Twight. Now, I have to admit, I'm not very familiar with Jerry.
Yeah, I've
also
never heard of
known as
him.
The Wall.
Oh,
But he
I've
had
heard of
an
The
extensive
Wall.
career, wrestling for almost every major promotion, including WCW, ECW, and TNA. In the
Oh, yeah,
interview,
yeah, yeah.
Just Incredible would claim that he had his wife overnight him some pills to Japan. He then shared those pills with Jerry. The next day, Jerry was found in his hotel room dead. Now, I did look this up on Wikipedia, and Jerry did die in Japan. The official cause of
That's
death was
crazy.
listed as a heart attack, but a citation notes that nothing was conclusive. Further research shows that Jerry and Justin actually tag teamed together the night before Jerry's death.
That's
So
crazy.
to me, this really doesn't seem like some made-up claim that Nathan
That's
made, actually.
insane. Did he just admit to giving somebody pills, giving him pills and him overdosing, and then him just waking up with a dead body in his hotel room? That's insane. That's crazy.
Seems to be some truth.
That's crazy.
In the interview, Justin would allegedly say that he wished the pills got lost in the mail. For Just Incredible to openly discuss his involvement in giving Jerry pills the night before his passing is at best an incredibly reckless thing to say, and at worst, a chilling insight into what was really going on behind the scenes. Later in the book, Nathan described walking in on Justin and an older woman in a compromising position. The woman would later claim some of her jewelry went missing. Nathan then recounts all of the personal items of his that went missing, like a PSP.
A PSP, bro, come
even
on.
a bottle of pills that he had.
Bro,
for
come
medicine.
on.
He also claims that one night Justin was drinking and taking Xanax, trying to fight him. Later, Justin's wife Jill would try to escape Justin by hiding in Nathan's hotel room. Justin would storm in, assault Jill, take her cigarettes, and then leave.
Jeez.
Nathan later wrote in the book that Justin's dad would find Justin and Jill in a drugged out state. He would then contact the authorities, hoping they would force the two into rehab. But the result was the 2 kids being removed from the home.
Oh my, they had kids? Yeah, that's the right course of action, to remove the kids. What the heck, bro? Yeah, remove the kids.
Also, according to Nathan,
This should have been done. I don't even know how old the kids are, but that should have been done like year 1.
Justin would be fired from jobs for being dope sick, and even accused him and his wife of food stamp
Yeah.
fraud.
Yeah, that's
The
it.
book goes into
Yeah,
a
sounds
lot
about
of
right.
Justin scamming, forging checks and becoming heavily dependent on Suboxone. Justin and Jill would spend every dollar on drugs and divide the stashes to hide from each other. Nathan talks about a time when Justin's wife burned her stash on accident when she hid it underneath the stovetop.
Hid it underneath the stovetop? Yeah, they were drugged out of their mind. To be like, I burnt it. How did you do that? I hid it under the stovetop and tried to cook some ramen.
Further in the book, Nathan recounts times Justin would search ashtrays outside of stores for cigarettes to smoke.
I've seen people do that.
The book goes into a lot more of Justin's petty scams and theft, but what stuck out to me was when Nathan questioned Jill's cancer diagnosis.
Ooh, can't do that.
2018 would say she only had 6 months to live.
All I'm saying is wrestling is supposed to be a simulated fight or stunt shows. These young men are rarely down where they're not professional wrestling. And then he would say, just found out my wife has 6 months to live. So how do you process that? Please pray for us.
Nathan claims this was only to elicit financial support and said that Justin often used it as an excuse to no-show events. He says while he could never say for sure, he is 99.9% certain it was fake and that in 2025 she is alive and well.
Yeah, because I guess that's something that pulls on a lot of people's heartstrings is cancer, right? Every person in the world, I feel like, has had at least one person they know been affected by cancer. Maybe not died, maybe not even had it, but they know somebody who knows somebody who's had it and the toll that it has taken on their family. That's how common cancer is. So if you're going to scam, using cancer is easy because it's very common, but it's also it's also a horrible thing to do because there's a lot of people who are very emotional about cancer and will do things to help people that obviously are scam, and they will overlook things because, oh, so-and-so has cancer.
I mean, about as well as you could be for being a junkie, I guess.
Yeah.
The breaking point for Nathan would come when one evening he would find syringes and caps across the floor at Justin's house, all while a toddler roamed the home. And that is when Nathan decided he was done with Justin Credible. There's a lot of good stories.
Yeah, that's a good indication. Like, how did they get the kids back unless they had another kid? Like CPS, this is one of those cases where I'm pro CPS. Usually I'm not, super, take the kids, but this is one of those times where we need to get these kids out of there and into a healthy home. Otherwise, they're going to suffer 100% without a doubt. And their suffering will begin a cycle of the same abuse because that's all they've seen and all they know. These are kids that probably wouldn't even get to go, like they would go to school maybe, like just maybe go to school. They would probably not be fed a full meal. Like these kids, they're children. They didn't do anything wrong. They definitely deserve a loving household and a supportive household, and they would not have gotten that with Justin Credible and his wife Amber,
stories in
or
this
Jill,
book.
whatever you want to
Not
call her.
only just incredible stories, but Bret Hart, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Mickey James, and more. And not all of the stories in this book are negative.
I would hope so.
I recommend checking the book out. Like I said, the link is in the description where you can even use a free trial to read it.
Oh, nice.
The amount of stories...
W Pinfalls and Pixels. We love free trials. We love free stuff. Good on you. I know at least 8 people that bought merch never realized it got blocked when they asked for an update.
From all over the internet and in the comments.
Not shocked. Not shocking. A promotion in Iowa I worked for before they tried booking him last year. He no-showed and of course kept the money.
My last video is mind-blowing.
I remember he was meant to tag with Lance Storm for a match, I think, in 1PW. which they hyped up for a lot. It was their first time tagging in almost a decade at that point, and he no-showed, and Lance was pissed.
But
Crazy.
what's also equally as mind-blowing is the amount of people that are unaware of all of this. His peers are unaware.
Well, I think the big problem is nobody thinks of Just Incredible anymore. But he doesn't have like a die-hard fan base anymore. Like Stone Cold's got a die-hard fan base for as long as they live. Nobody cares about Just Incredible anymore. But this is super interesting. Like nobody wants Just Incredible on the next WWE taping at all. Not even anywhere near it.
The promotions
Wouldn't crack the top 100.
The podcast book.
This guy owes me money. He'd paid to interview with a pod and disappeared. I helped him out with money a few times because I thought we were friends. Ooh, that's where you messed up.
All of the people losing their money are unaware. Nathan emailed me and said that he plans on talking to...
After seeing dozens of not hundreds of people stating they got scammed, I'm going to speak to the district attorney next week, see if we can if people can start submitting evidence, if they'll open up a case against him. Ooh, W Pinballs and Pixels, bro. W Pinballs and
Pixels. I wouldn't hold my breath. And honestly, who cares? He will be a broke loser, whether he's in jail or not.
100%. Like, this isn't going to do anything good for his life.
And I wasn't motivated to do so. I don't expect Just Incredible to ever change.
No, not at all.
He is a jabroni and will always be one. I really appreciate everybody watching this video. Be sure to give it a like.
Definitely give it a like.
Anything else you'd like to see a video of. And subscribe. This is Glocky, and I'll see you on the next one.
That was the first match against Savio Vega. And they're like, don't worry, Aldo will be there. I'm literally getting dressed, and I was drunk. Putting my stuff on in the car, driving.
He says he was drunk like he should be proud of it. Like he's about to go to work. He shouldn't be drunk. Simple as that.
I mean, I know you guys do kilometers, but driving very fast. I mean, at least 80 miles an hour.
True that you smuggle some drugs for Shawn Michaels.
Well, it wasn't for Shawn.
Oh, okay.
It was for me.
Fair.
I was doing cocaine.
Jeez, bro. That's just sad. Like, there's nothing positive to take out of this video other than people are finding out that they're not to trust Just Incredible. Yeah, that's insane. Like, I don't feel bad enough to go DM him and send him money, for sure. I'm not supporting a drug addict. But, like, I do feel bad that he doesn't, like, I don't think he'll ever realize he has a problem. And that's what I feel bad about. Is we can tell him he has a problem. The last video got 30,000 views. 30,000 people could tell him he has a problem, and he would still ask him for $20. And that's sad. That's honestly sad. It's like it's messed his brain up. His brain chemistry's probably just fried, to be honest with you. I'm surprised he has memories of wrestling. Like if he shows up to that event he's booked at, I'd be surprised if he could even take a simple bump without breaking his back. That's crazy. That's insane.